So we do know that Nexus mods is being sold, and I believe a lot of stuff that has happened with Nexus mods is not good. And we all know that Nexus mod is a dying mod website with every passing day, especially with the rise of IACA mods and DEG mods and any other mods that people have been using. Now, this is from Games Radar. Weeks after changing owners, Nexus mod updates rules on illegal and adult content. But even the original owner says, calm down. It's purely about following the law or being fined out of existence. Now, I would say if it's anything that's illegal, if there's anything that is, under the law, that's like, if you're doing anything that's like child endangerment or whatever, anything that's like underage, yeah, get rid of it. Anything that's illegal, get rid of it. But if it's adult content, it's a good adult content, right? If you're signing up for it and stuff like that, it is what it is, right? But the thing is, I believe adding this does not bode well for Nexus mods. Let's continue reading. The change of ownership has nothing to do with the change in guidelines, Nexus mods founder says. Nexus mods is updating its practices in regard to adult content, child safety online, and our ongoing commitment to remove illegal content. Before you start worrying that the site's recent change in ownership is behind this and some tsunami of censorship is about to hit the mainland, calm down. This change was prompted by UK laws. See, that's the reason why UK is not great, and it's all about America. Nexus Mod says that even the original owner agrees that it had to happen regardless of who's in charge. I don't think that's the case. I think Nexus Mods has been a pretty shitty platform to use for mods for some times now, especially with the censorship and removing of mods that they don't see fit or they don't like, right? The beautification of some characters in Baldur's Gate 3, removing the pride flag and modding in the USA flag, they removed that. And anything that they deem unworthy, they don't like it, right? I believe we did get a minor win or a minor W with, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Oblivion, with body type 1 and 2 being removed. And I believe adding in, what's it called again, male and female. In a pinned comment in the announcement post, Nexus Mods founder Dark One says, for the people who think that this is the fault of the new owners of Nexus Mods, please either read the news post above properly or read the laws around child safety online that are coming to every major Western country either this month or in the next coming year, including most states in the US. Dark One adds that even if the site hadn't changed owners, it would have gone through and dealt with this no matter what. Frankly, I'm relieved that it is not me who has to deal with this or to be responsible for the content that the site directly, because I have some big misgivings about how it is enforced. However, if it was me, I would still have followed the letter to the law, and I have been doing what is written above because I have to. So yes, you can be worried or angry with the direction of the internet is taking and an amount of control governments are enforcing on around the world, but the law is the law, and the Nexus Mods will and must follow the law. And I think that's where, unfortunately, where I what's it called again? I hate the government. I hate what it is, but that's what happens when you allow the government to sort of have control over, I guess, like video game stuff or anything that has to do with stuff that we like as hobbies. But the law is the law. But this one with the whole child, like protecting kids and stuff like that, I guess that's fine. At least for this one, right? But I think I'm fine with it. Like overall, having making sure like kids don't have access to these kind of stuff. I think that's fine, right? But the thing is, why are you allowing your kids onto Nexus Mods to begin with? Why are you allowing kids to go online freely without being monitored by the parents, right? So that's the actual issue here. And it's just the governments are taking like precautions to make sure kids have an additional step or barrier they need to go to before they can have access to that kind of stuff, right? With that out of the way, let's dig into what's the new post. These updates are a part of the legal obligations to comply with the UK government's new Online Safety Act and the EU's Digital Services Act, along with the guidance being issued by Ofcom, Nexus Mod says. While we are required to make these changes under a new law, UK and EU laws, they also will give the opportunity to improve how content is managed on the site. These updates aim to give users more control, protect vulnerable audiences, and ensure Nexus mods remain a platform that can support all types of content responsibly. Nexus mods can either remove all the adult content for EU and UK servers, adjust its policies, or as Dark One put it, be fined out of existence for not complying with the new laws. Understandably, the site is going to go with option 2. To that end, some of this is still being worked out behind the scenes. The rules is that adult and illegal content are being amended. Again, Nexus mods heads off concerns. Adult content is a core part of what makes Nexus mods what it is. We don't consider removing it a viable option. So that is good. But the thing is, can we trust Nexus mods in general? They have been pretty shitty for a long time. I mean, we can say that, but to be devil's advocate, I remember as a kid, I was able to sneak around with VPNs and thumb drives, and has been much easier now. That's true. But the thing is, like, kids will, no matter what, always be curious, and and I think accessing the internet as a young kid does ruin, or change up a lot of things, like how the kids function, right? But ultimately, this is definitely up to the parents by understand where you're coming from, though. Let's see. Offering a general overview to what you can expect. Firstly, in terms of service, we will more clearly define what counts as illegal content under the UK law and how we protect children from harm whilst on the site. Obviously, the kind of content was already not allowed. Tightening the language, automated detection of child sexual abuse material, with such content removed immediately and the uploader banned and reported to the NCA. Legal but adult content is also getting more detailed language from the new form of tags. Articles containing adult content will have the same checks as mods themselves. These tags can be added by our moderator and staff and will be locked in place once added. Of course, this does not change the ability mod authors have to tag their own mods, and user abilities can vote on tags. New adult tags: pornographic, extreme violence, harmful substance, suicide, self-harm, depression, body stigma, eating disorder, swearing or profanity, and sexualized. Just as Nexus mod currently only displays account content if you have an account with mods enabled, you'll be able to filter out the mods with these specific tags. Like, I understand, but I hate government intervention. I hate whenever government comes in and like censors shit and removes shit and monitors everything. Because once the government gets their grimy little fucking hands on something, they will never let it go. But I agree with like protecting kids. I think I think parents need to be more vigilant in monitoring what their kids do. Like monitoring their internet access, have an account. I remember my younger brother had a like split the PC. You know, like how back then you can actually, I'm not sure you can still do it now, where you can split the PC into 2 different user accounts. I believe his was like heavily censored and monitored, so he can't go onto any of the adult sites, which is good, right? Because you don't want your kids to have access to that kind of stuff. But when I was a kid, of course I would absolutely hate that kind of stuff, right? So you need ID for most of the fun mods. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. If it requires an age verification, I think having the tags is fine. But once you add an age verification, I think that's where it becomes a slippery slope. Like, oh, you need an ID, you need something to like verify. I think that becomes a slippery slope where like the government they have too much control. The user's controls also getting a pass. The ignore feature will stick around to let you filter out content and actively from specific folks, and modders can still block specific users if they have negatively interacted with their content, disable comments and interactions. Our automated spam detection system will be expanded to more areas of the site, including comments, which will be manually reviewed by staff and moderators. Here's one last treat from the UK. There it is. This is what I was hoping that it won't happen. Age verification. I think that's where shit sort of like goes down like the drain, right? Once you have age verification, things get really, really bad. For instance, when Pornhub added in like age verification and stuff like that, and like verification that like these people who are uploading stuff are actually people. I know what they're trying to do, but a lot of the good stuff was completely deleted from Pornhub, and Pornhub is like sort of in my opinion, the worst. It's not worst website, but it's like one of the websites I don't really use anymore. In terms of if I really wanted to watch some adult content, I don't use that anymore. It's because a lot of the good stuff are gone. Like, what's the fucking point, right? And then what happens when you have age verification stuff? You might potentially get stuff like, oh, this website is completely banned from the state, right? I believe Pornhub and a bunch of other stuff that's associated with it have been banned from like Texas and other states in the US. That's where it gets slippery slope, right? It's once you give the government too much control, they will literally control everything, and you don't want this shit to happen. It should be ran by the private sector. If you live anywhere else, you will not be subjected to age verification beyond the current verification that you are above 18 years of age, barring any legal requirement in your country. For UK and EU models enjoyers, things are changing. In the future, we will be introducing age verification for a majority of adult content hosted on a site. The specifics are going to be carefully considered as what we want to get this right, so that the options to view adult content remains available to adults whilst fulfilling our legal obligation to ensure children are safe from our website. Some of these changes are already here and will be detailed in depth soon, while others will roll out gradually over the coming weeks and months. We want to be clear that these changes are not optional for us. They are a part of complying with legislation, and we are committed to keeping our platform safe for everyone. And that's where you lose it. And of course, right over here, not safe for work Stellar Blade mods have well over 1 million downloads, but the director's favorite mod is surprisingly wholesome one. Yeah, here. I think this is where Nexus mods sort of shits the bed. Now here's the thing though, they did mention, according to this our article, saying that it's not just Nexus mods, but every other modding thing. So like DEG mod or Ayaka mods might potentially get it. So we're not sure, but this is only for the UK and EU. Now, if that happens here in the US, that's also going to be pretty shitty. But it's sort of, sometimes it's like, if it goes well, it's like, oh, the EU and the UK are doing it, we should do it here too. But I'm not sure how that's going to work. It's because I wonder if that shit needs to be voted in, right? If it's government involvement, like, do we have to vote that shit in? I'm not sure how the shit works, man. They already have age verification for porn here in Florida, and that's creepy as fuck. Thank God for VPN. Yep, and that's why VPN is king. Not sure if you saw my comment above, but a lot of US sites with similar content are starting to push for ID-based verification, claiming that new laws are coming soon. That is very bad. Well, time to get VPN. Time to get VPN. I won't be surprised if it's across the EU for every website. We'll follow suit soon. California might do it first. California will probably do it first, because California is fucking stupid. I hate living here, man. But I'm stuck here for the time being, and once everything is good, I will move, and most likely I'll probably go to Nevada. I'll probably move to Vegas or something like that. A lot of my wife's family is there. But the thing is that Nevada is pretty based now. It is a red state. It's all a creep towards digital ID. Yep. It's if you have a digital footprint and you cannot be anonymous on the internet, that's where government takeover will happen. And we do not want that shit to happen at all.